Following our press briefing on April 18, 2023, CHSR has received scores of telephone calls and representations from victims of land grabbing activities in Lagos State. Most complaints from Lagos State speak to the high level of impunity that comes with land grabbing. Most victims are disenchanted as well as frustrated by the seemingly lack of commitment of the government to addressing the challenges headlong in spite of the establishment and operation of a task force established under the law of Lagos State. Just like the various petitions by concerned community stakeholders, victims of unlawful activities of land grabber in Nigerian land, provided insight into the CHSR also worry that land grabbers are becoming more entrenched than hitherto imagined in spite of a task force established to nip the menace in the bud. CHSR therefore wishes to demand priority attention from the Lagos State government with the view to making all relevant agencies, particularly the task force on land grabbing, more responsive to their mandate. CHSR is, however, more concerned that most of the land being forcibly confiscated by these land grabbers are legally and validly documented by the original owner, most of whom are in possession of genuine deed of assignment and with full authorization of the relevant family from whom the lands were purchased. To this end, we are concerned about the seeming complicity of certain actors in the land registry of Lagos State, without whose connivance, falsification or forgery of land documents by land grabbers and their collaborators could not be successfully carried out. We are, however, encouraged by the bold step taken by His Royal Majesty Oba Rilwanu Akiolu against land grabbing activities in Nigerian land and other communities in the Lekki Axis of Eti-Osa local government area of Lagos State. Please refer to a letter titled Request for Special Urgent Intervention, reference number OOL/017/volume 11/374 to the Inspector General of Police Usman Akali Baba on December 12, 2022. We are therefore calling on other traditional rulers under the platform of Lagos State Council of Traditional Rulers to rise in unison to denounce the activities of land grabbers in Lagos State. We wish to see concrete steps being taken as a matter of urgency by the Lagos State government towards addressing the menace of land grabbers in Lagos State. The unfolding events in the Ojomu community in Nigerian land. As indicated in the preamble, certain events have unfolded in Ojomu community since our last press briefing. This event needed to be highlighted to further draw the attention of Lagos State government and the Nigerian police to the continued unwholesome activities of leading actors in land grabbing cases in Ojomu community, which is capable of disturbing public peace. We are saddened by the killing on Tuesday, 18th April 2023, of Sheriff Salami in cruel circumstances, suspected to be a fallout of the deceased opposition to activities of land grabbers in the community. We call on Lagos State government and the police to probe the death of Sheriff Ishola Salami, aka Agborin, who was a son of late Bashorun of Ajiran land, Chief Ishola Salami. We demand justice for the deceased Sheriff Ishola Salami, who left behind 3 daughters and an aged mother. Meanwhile, following our last press briefing, a protest was led by Wasiu Yekini Akin Shemoyin, a non-indigenous of Ojomu community, but an ally of Mr. Ahmed Tajuddin, who has been fingered in the land grabbing cases by victims, some of whom have narrated their audio to CHSR. The protest staged behind the palace of Oba of Ajiran land, His Royal Highness Oba Akinloye Tijani Sateru II, was without doubt aimed at further harassment of stakeholders and victims who have lodged complaint to CHSR regarding infractions on their rights and corresponding threat to their safety. Note, We are sharing videos of harassment and intimidation of community stakeholders and members of the traditional institution orchestrated by these individuals. Civil society stakeholders wish to make it abundantly clear that until and unless otherwise decided by Lagos State government with corresponding amendment to statutes of ownership and chiefs, authority over land in the community are vested in the traditional institution headed by legally recognized traditional rulers in the respective communities. This is, however, without prejudice to relevant provision of the Land Use Act. We are therefore of the strong opinion that the case of Ajiron land cannot be otherwise. We therefore do not see any convincing justification for the usurpation of subjugation of the authorities of Oba of Ajiron land, His Royal Highness Oba Akinloye Tijani Sateru II, by any group of individual under whatever disguise. CHSR is deeply concerned about the prevailing ugly situation in Ojomu community, which evidently has undermined the legitimate traditional institution in Ajiron land, leading to flagrant disobedience, dispossession, and confiscation of land legitimately purchased and validly documented by innocent and individuals who have been wantonly victimized with undue sense of impunity by one Ahmed Tajuddin-led land-grabbing group in Ojomu community. More importantly, we are disturbed by the apparent silence of the Lagos State government over the rather reprehensible situation in Ajiron land. We wish to therefore see Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu to take decisive steps without further delay to reaffirm the authorities of Oba of Ajiron land as the custodian of culture and heritage of the community as vested under the Lagos State Oba and Chief Law of 1981. We are convinced intervention of Lagos State government in this regard is an immediate important step in tackling the menace of land grabbers in Ojomu communities. Our demands. Civil society stakeholders under the platform of CHSR wish to call on relevant authorities, particularly the Lagos State government, to respond swiftly in curbing nefarious activities of land grabbers across the state. As noted in our earlier press briefing, continue unlawful activities of land grabbers undermining the spirit and letters of the Lagos State Property Possession Law, which prohibit forceful and illegal occupation of land legitimately acquired by citizens, with respect to the prevailing situation in Ojomu community in Ajiron land. Civil society stakeholders under the platform of CHSR further demand as follows. 1. Lagos State government should protect legitimate authority of traditional institutions in Ajiron land against further reckless insubordination, as well intimidation and harassment by one Ahmed Tajuddin, the land grabber. Lagos State government and Nigerian police should put an end to directives to relevant agencies, particularly the task force on land grabbing, with the view to putting an end to illegal activities of land grabbers in Ojomu community and other affected communities in Lagos State. Lagos State Police Command should investigate the incident that led to the murder of Sheriff Ishola Salami aka Agboworin on April 18, 2023 in the interest of justice and peace. Lastly, Lagos State Council of Traditional Rulers should speak out in unison against the activities of land grabbers in their domain and by extension across communities in Lagos State.
So, until the very recent time, the activities of land grabbers, or Monile, as they are used to be known in Lagos, and all other criminal conducts that are hidden under the guise of the activities of Omonile have practically become alien in Lagos until very recently. Recall that before 2019, the government of Lagos took very decisive step in curtailing the activities of these criminals masquerading as Omonile landowners, who in the real sense are land grabbers, criminals hijacking land from the original owners. And this was so effective to the extent that even the most notorious land grabbers in Lagos had their days in the court for illegally trespassing on lands belonging to legitimate owners. But unfortunately, the incumbent administration in Lagos seems to have gone to sleep. Seems to have gone to sleep to the extent that land grabbers or MINILS, people who criminally encroach and hijack land belonging to legitimate owners, now have a feed day in Lagos.